let's have a word about John Cord, because you went, who the hell is John Cord? Well, he's not, his name is not John Cord. The guy's name is John Lord, and he's a former United States Marine Corps officer. I believe he lives somewhere on the west coast of America, probably California, and he's my sensei, so to say, that we have a very good internet relationship. And he was writing to me for a long time and explaining John Cord, and I just wasn't seeing it. I just wasn't getting it, because I'm a visual sort of guy, and I just couldn't, oh, yeah, you tie this overhand knots, and yeah, do this lock sit at the end, and I was like, what? And then, you know, it just clicked one day that, you know, so I seem to get this. It just came to me. And so I went on the internet and I saw this British Army guy. I can't remember what his channel name is, MK something. I'll find it and we'll put it up there. And he was demonstrating this, how they use it to put tarps up. Well, they call it ponchos, but it ain't a poncho. Poncho is what we used to have in the army. They got all waterproofs now. Anyway, besides the point. He showed up, oh, this is interesting. And then I found this Welsh guy, Dragon Outdoors, who his friend, army guy, said, forget this taut line hitch and trucker's hitch and blah, blah, blah. Just make this up, and he demonstrated it, and it was so quick. And then it all clicked, and I went back to John and said, is this what you mean? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we know where we are. So, is this not what the bushcrafters, the big channels, the instructors want you to know, don't want you to know? Because I know for a fact that some of the big channels have been sent this. They're aware of it. But then they won't be able to teach anything, will they? They won't be able to teach you trucker's hitch and taut line hitches and all different kinds of knots. So, for me, if it works, if it's simple, as we say, I'm sure they still say in the British Army, KISS, Kilo, India, Sierra, Sierra. Keep it simple, stupid. And if you can keep it simple and it works, and you don't have to tie a knot, and it's rapid deployment, up, down. I'm not demonstrating that yet because I said I'm still in the practice mode, but I understood straight away this is going to be a lot quicker. So there you have it. That's where we are for now. I'll come back a bit later if I get this tarp up. There's a bit of a breeze now, so this thing will start blowing about. I got 100 feet of paracord to play with, to make into a John Cord, jungle string, jungle knots, whatever. Ever wondered what 100 feet of paracord looks like when it's stretched out on the ground? First time I ever done it. So I have some Rothko nylon paracord, 550 type 3 commercial, made by a certified US government contractor. 550 pound test, 7 strand, core 100% nylon, made in the USA by Rothko.com, 100 feet. So, working on the John Cord, jungle knot, jungle string, whatever. Just pulled that out of the bag, I didn't realize I had it. I found it. So anyway, this is what 100 feet looks like, because I wish the Americans would switch to bloody imperial, not from imperial to metric. It'd be a lot easier. How the hell is 100 feet? Okay, I just loosely knotted it here, so we lost a centimeter or two. Not a lot. So, I'm going to walk this very loosely in your hand, otherwise you will get friction burns. So, there you have it. Whoops, dropped the end of it. There you have it, all the way back to that stick. And I can feel the stretchiness in this stuff. So, that 100 feet of paracord folded in half, 50 feet, and then I decided to start to knot it. I didn't cut it. So John said that when he did 100 feet of it, it put calluses on his fingers, and calluses but a bit red. So all he did, I just started off with a overhand knot here at the end, and then I just overhand knotted all the way down. The spacing is, if I can hold the camera, about 3 to 4 fingers. Let's do it underneath, between the knots, It's not precise, but it just happens naturally. Now I've just measured this using my own measurement system, because I know that from here to here is roughly 1 meter, and I think I'm going to get about 7 meters out of this, which is more than enough. So I got as far as here, and then I just now will untie that end and I'll start to knot from here backwards. It's easier not having to pull all this through the holes. Anyway, I want to go and get a can of cold beer. I've earned it, I think. And then we can, because the weather's changing a little bit, we're going a bit overcast. We might get some rain. I don't want to get this hammock wet. I can just throw this tarp over the top. We have plenty of tarps and ponchos and stuff. But I'd like to try and get that ridgeline up there before close of play today, before I have to go and walk the dogs and feed the pigs and feed the sheep and blah blah blah. So there you have it. I think it's worthwhile. Shouldn't have to do that again, unless I want, of course, to have a parallel line, and there's no reason why not. You have more than one setup and just say, ah, that's the lightweight hammock pack setup in the pack, that's the more heavyweight setup in the pack. You don't have to start, oh, I need to get this, I need to go get, and the risk is you'll forget something. You should always have some cordage anyway, but you know, you've already spent the time, prepared it, made the John cord, the jungle knots. It's elementary. And that, actually, at that length, 7 meters, can you imagine that I could, for example, sling that over this tree, knot it through, or whatever, put a toggle in there, and actually you have a ready-made ladder. You don't need to put sticks in it. You don't need to put suitable size sticks in it, can hold your weight. You have a ladder. No need to mess around with other knots. It's such, there are so many uses. I'm sure I'll be able to show you. I mean, the hammock's hanging up there on some ordinary washing line, same system, no knots at all. What I showed earlier, it'll come later, down at the frog place where I take the dogs. I got wood hanging up there. So here's another use of John cord, jungle string, jungle cord, whatever you want to call it. This is not expensive paracord. This is just a very cheap nylon washing line. Why use paracord? I'm not somewhere, you know, on my own territory. This is out in open territory, so to speak. So somebody decides to take away that string, that cord, or steal the wood. I haven't really lost an awful lot. Not expensive paracord. But the point is that there isn't a single, besides the original knots, when you knot this cord, there is another knot here. So this is just you know, thinking about a future fire, keeping it off the ground. I've just suspended it around here, and it just the knots just lock into each other. That's all it is. So take it out. Thread it around a tree. I'm not standing on it. With taut, and feed it through whatever you want, whatever takes your fancy. Feed it through, and that's all you need to do. Okay, can even tighten up later. I don't even need to do this, but it's just extra security. Feed the top out. Toggle in place. Now weight up. a slope, so it's not so easy. See, those pegs are not going to hold. And that's it. That's it. And that didn't require one single additional knot than the John cord itself. You can always take the tension out and put something behind it, a bit of rubber like this, help protect the bark of the tree. But that's it. And these, if you want a bit of extra security, if you think you need it, you can always put a toggle in there, or you can double it over, you can do what you want. So just chuck it up there for now. Just cheat is already on here, so it doesn't make any difference. Again, just an overhand knot. That's all I need. Nothing more at this stage. I prefer toggles, but okay, that's all we've got. Same shit again. Prepped this already, it's just took it straight out the back. No prepping whatsoever. Just a quick out the back think about it. Let's have a see if we can pull something together. A shelter in very quick time. Same again. It's not perfect. I can adjust it, can lower it, can higher it. I just watched a guy with 50,000 subscribers doing this and lashing it and frapping it. There's no need. There's no need with John cord. Absolutely no need whatsoever. This is just a simple military poncho. And if I had these pre-prepared, I haven't used this for over a year. I just took it out. These were already tied on. I wouldn't have I'd have done it in a matter of seconds. It's just 2 sticks. I did saw them, but I could have broken them off. They're not the strongest of sticks. That, my friend, could lower it down the back if I wanted to. Just wanted to get some air through. There you have a temporary shelter. Get you out of trouble, keep you out of rain if you don't want to sit with the poncho over your head. So it ain't rocket science. So all of this, oh, you need to wrap, and you need to frap, and you need to do this, you need to do that. You don't actually need anything more than a simple overhand knot. And I like to use toggles. That's it. I think it takes a lot of less stress. And also I could tie it back. I could tie this and tie this back to there if I wanted to get a bit of a height at the back here. Very small German Army flecked on Tarp, and a lot stronger than that heap of MFH crap over there. This is the half of a German pop tent, and this is quality canvas. Okay, there's weight in it, but this is quality. That gets my vote. Can't complain about that. Okay guys, I've done enough demonstrations. I hope that I've proven to you today that you don't need your taut line hitches, you don't need your trucker hitches. They're useful to know. I'm not complaining, I'm not saying you shouldn't know them, but out in the field you don't need anything more than a simple overhand knot, pre-prepared, John cord, jungle string, jungle cord, whatever you want, and that's the only knot you need. Okay guys, let's try to get a wrap on this. A lot of filming today. As you saw in the thermometer, was 32, 33 degrees in the shade. It was almost 40 degrees out in the full sun. That's why I try to stay in the shade as much as possible. But I had a head mount and a chest mount for some of the filming and reviewing it, because it's now 19:25. I'm just on the evening walk, just with the dogs, just fed the pigs, so it's cooled down a bit. So to try and fill in, because there'll be a real headache for Evie to try to edit, because one camera is too high, the other one is showing my feet. So what did we do? The last thing that we did was we took a standard German Army poncho, not a tarp. They measure 2 meters wide, 1.8 rectangular, and I don't remember if I had put these cords on or whether it actually came with these cords or not. I can't remember. And I just wanted to demonstrate a setup if you don't have a tree to tie to or whatever, or just want a quick shelter. As I said, there was a guy with 50,000 subscribers, American channel, who was demonstrating this particular setup, but he was wrapping and frapping, and all I wanted to show was it's not necessary. So all I did with this John cord was, well, first of all, I staked her out at the back. I've now lowered it down a little bit. There is no knots. The knots are already pre-formed. I just fed it through one of these loops. It's holding. I didn't use the existing cord that was there. I just looped it through, stuck a toggle in. That was my first point. And then I got 2 sticks. As I said, I did cut them with my saw. They're not the strongest of sticks. I toggled out here, ignored the existing string, put these 2 sticks through one of these loops and twisted it in and staked out down here. And then I just staked out basically. Actually, I had tied overhand knots in these because they were just loose, just for quickness. As I say, if I had pre-prepared it with John cord, jungle knots, jungle string, it would have been no need. It would have been quicker. And so she staked out with in 5 places, sorry, 6 places. And as I said, you can lift the hood if you want and tie it up to there or back to wherever you want, or you can just stick your head through for keep it for some air. It's a small shelter, but the point of the aim of the object was just to show that you don't need to wrap and frap for a quick shelter, and that's all that is. And there's different configurations. I could do a standard A-frame the same way, 2 sticks at the back, turn it the long ways perpendicular to what it is now, so I get the full 2 meters by 180, and get an A-frame. But that was that. Then before that we were rigging the tarp today, and I got some tape to put on this before it gets worse. And basically we had our John cord, our jungle string. We started out with 100 feet, if you remember, be somewhere in it, and I tied it all the way down. I split it in half and then started to tie overhand knots all the way down, everywhere about 3 to 4 finger spacing between the knots, which actually came to about 10 meters what I had left. So we go from imperial to metric. I had 10 meters, and all I needed to do was to sling it around a tree once and just lock the knots inside of each other. And then I toggled, because this tarp is pretty crap, pretty weak. I just toggled through, and well, that's how I did it basically. And then stretch it out the other end. Same deal. So I just toggled and fed it through the knot. So instead of using a Prusik or whatever, it works perfectly fine.